Most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. If I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. If I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore, I'm living entirely in the world of symbols. Therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. The place where it's at is simply here and now. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand everything. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. It's all just sound. The place where it's at is simply here and now.
Okay, what is going on today, guys? Evan Aldo here. Sorry about the little delay there. Let's take a look here. Let me. Take a little look. So here is the trade, as you can see right here. So a little risky. I took a big position last night. I don't know. I was feeling a little bit like I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. It worked out. I posted this trade in the Discord ahead of time. A little free to be on what could happen here. I do think we got a good shot of coming up a bit more, breaking upward from this little reverse head and shoulders here. So that's what I'm kind of looking at. And yeah, so what is up, guys? What's up, Will Charles? What's up, Breezy? What's up, B Baker? Dr. J. False alarm, maybe. So yeah, ultimately, that's what I'm kind of looking at here in the short term. I mean, we did come down, and now trying to, recover a little bit, trying to, finally come back a little bit, you know. So that's what it kind of looks like there. And just trying to think here. Um, hmm. And yeah, if you guys are interested in Discord, link in description below if you want one free month. Really great community. I mean, I've been crushing it lately. Win rate well above 50%. I think it's been like freaking. I don't think I've had a loss in a while. It's one of those records for me. But obviously, with trading, there's never 100% way to know what's going to happen. It's all a game of probability. But if you want a free month, if you sign up to FAIRDESK, any exchanges down below, deposit at least $100. I'll give you one free month. Just open a support ticket with your UID in the Discord. So yeah, it could definitely dump. Oh, the new moon. Let's take a look at that actually. Let's take a look at that. Oh, yeah. I mean, it would make sense. The new moon. It would definitely money flow coming down. It would make sense. Yeah, absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely. Uh-huh. Or in the short term, our bullish case come up. But yeah, I mean, there are bearish signs, guys. There are definitely bearish signs. There is reason to kind of be concerned. There's reason to definitely be a bit concerned here. So yeah, I mean that 4 hour. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the 4 hour. I mean it could jump. I mean I think that on the high end, you probably could get up to that 75, K. A lot of people would expect this to be like in the 4 year cycle, like March of 2020, but because everything is, ever a lot of people would maybe expect that, and everybody's, history never repeats exactly. That would potentially, make it so we could maybe keep going up, climb the wall of worry a little bit more. So yeah. Um, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say exactly. I mean, funding fees are still pretty high. This will probably get stopped out in profit. I took like more profits than I kind of wanted to take, but I think that's gonna work out well here. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, just trying to like think here a little bit. What could happen? 15 money flow coming up there. VWAP coming up. Trigger, yeah. So basically, the main trade right here, same with Ethereum too. I mean, kind of the same thing is, I mean, that would be obviously that SR point would be the place to take profits, and then 1 to 1 would be below this. I'd probably set a stop loss below here. I mean, you could. It's a bad risk reward ratio, but you could do a stop loss below there. That would be the main trade right now that I would be looking to take. Should I take it? We could have a little fun on the stream if you guys want me to. I don't think we'll have an outcome during this stream, but it might. It might. That jump up there might work. We'll do a small. Let's do a small position for the stream. What do I want to do here? I'm just bored. Mark it in or something. What's that percentage of a stop loss? Okay, so we could do high leverage here. I don't know. Go 30x. I don't know. Let's do 100. 100 grand nowadays is freaking. Let's just do 100 grand. 100 grand. A little over 100 grand, I guess. And let's set a little stop. freaking 6, 7, 520, I guess. Let's see, 520. Okay, we're risking 2 grand, so nothing too crazy. And then take profit is going to be at 69973. And now we want to take out, I don't know, 1.5. Let's take out a lot. Close the long. So now we got that one. A little freebie. And I'll post it in the this was the ETH or oh no, this was, I never posted the ETH short. I just posted it like this because it wasn't the most confident thing. I'm gonna post, I'll just post it here in this part because I want to do is taking a small BTC long with this setup. Probably would take some time to get an outcome. We'll see what happens. That new moon, though, like one of you guys mentioned, that new moon. Leave a limit order overnight? No. Unless it's a take profit, but no, for limiting in, no. I don't do that in terms of, it's just not my thing. I don't think it's bad, but it's just not my thing. Where do I see things going? I think in the short term we'll come up a bit, and then we'll probably come down farther, I would kind of guess. But it wouldn't surprise me if we do rally up to 76 or 75. But with that money flow, it is a bit concerning. That's what I will say. It is a little bit concerning. Short term, I think there's a good shot of coming up a little bit. I think there's a good shot of coming up a little bit in the short term. Like some of these, yeah, trigger waveforming on the 4-hour. Money flow coming up on the 15. Low cap altcoin gems. I mean, depends what you consider low cap. I mean, I'm not the biggest like low cap guy. There's a lot that have a lot of potential. We've looked at XPRT, Flow. If you consider Filecoin to be a small cap, I think that could do something. Crypto.com, I think could do something. I think we'll continue to do something probably. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, bullish alert in Bitcoin. I think in the short term we got a good shot here. So yeah, and let's see. So yeah, so I think it's 1 a.m. We're 1 a.m. On Sunday. So Sunday night, yeah, 1 a.m. But it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that 16-hour, that 20-hour bear div, right? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this does play out more and we do come down farther. So just keep that in mind. 10 mil and under, no, I don't look at those, unfortunately. I mean, a lot of things look really good on their ETH pairs. I think even H-bar, a lot of things do look really good in their ETH pairs. As long as H-bar could kind of hold, this area, I guess, yeah, kind of there. Yeah. Oh yeah, been awesome, Crypto Bull Zone. Shout out to Crypto Bull Zone. In the Discord, Landicort's taking a break from crypto, so he's taking some months off, so he's not going to be in the Discord anymore. But it's me, Crypto Bull Zone. We still got KMac in there, especially if you guys are into Forex. KMac's got a lot of good stuff for that. But yeah, CBZ, do you want to come on the stream right now, brother? Okay, let me know if you want to come on. I can send you a Zoom link, and you could show us what you've been looking at by the dip. It hasn't been too much. Yeah, so Landicor, I was gonna hopefully he's taking a break from crypto for a little bit. He's got a lot of stuff busy with a lot of other stuff outside of crypto, so totally respect that. And but yeah, we still got Crypto Bull Zone, still got me, K-Mac. Yeah, Nightshade has, if you guys are interested in one-on-one session, Nightshade as well. All of us do one-on-one sessions with people. Don't book one with me right now because I'm in Thailand. I don't want to be bothered. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. But I think we can break up a little bit. Yeah, all right, yeah. Yeah, CBZ, we'll do it another time. We'll do it another time. Oop, got my little elephant keychain here. Chinatown in Bangkok is pretty cool. I was at Chinatown, very crowded, but like some Michelin star food, Michelin star restaurants for like freaking $2 for the meal, $3 for a meal. Good food, good food. Depends where you go in Bangkok. Like it's not as because I had breakfast for like I spent. Let's see how much I spent. I just had breakfast at like a nice place. Really good food with air conditioning. I spent, yeah, $17. So it depends where you go. Like you can spend money here, but it's overall like it's cheaper. Overall, a lot cheaper than Western prices, especially for shelter. Like this Airbnb I'm staying at is like $350 for the whole week. It comes with a 4K, 32-inch like 4K monitor that I'm plugged into, so pretty damn good. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, you drop down, you're recovering. It's a matter of like how much could you recover. I kind of, I don't know, that new moon, man, that new moon and that 2 day on ETH with money flow coming out. It's not a bear div, but still, high anchor wave usually brings you down a little bit. What I think what happened though is if you look at like, for example, like let's look at, now this is interesting, guys. Now let's look at ETH Bitcoin now. ETH bottomed out against Bitcoin in August of 2019. Price kept going down theoretically until like December, and then you had COVID. But so that was like August 8th to 4 more months of, so price could go down while a lot of altcoins, including ETH, can outperform Bitcoin. So ETH and altcoins can outperform Bitcoin if we do come down for the next 4 months. Let's say we come down. We're in March, the third month. Let's say we come down. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Let's say we come down until like June, July. Say we come down until June, July. We just correct down on 40K or something into June, July. It's boring over the summer. A lot of altcoins can still outperform Bitcoin and ETH during that time period, or at least Bitcoin during that time period, which I think potentially could happen. And I think Bitcoin dominance, it could go up a little bit higher, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to go above 57. I think this weekly, once this red dot here kind of gives us what we need, I think we're generally home free. You could get another wick up to maybe 57 or, later on, later this year or something, but I don't think that's too likely. I think this is really good, ETH and altcoin accumulation. The trigger wave there, I would follow the money for ETH versus Bitcoin here. So yeah. And yeah. I mean, it could bleed more, who knows, but I don't think. Yeah. Near protocol? Yeah, I own some near. Breaking upward, yeah. And a lot of these, I mean, that bear div on that 5 day probably will bring it down a little bit, but yeah. Man, I am up on a lot of these freaking coins. Yeah, money flow is still good there. Let's look at near or ETH. How statistically goes the new moon thing? I'd give it like 60% probably. Slightly above 50%, I'd say. Like it probably signifies that we will correct. It's just like we don't know how much. Will it be a correction down back to 67K, or will it be down a lot more? We don't really know. That looks good near versus ETH. I think this is gonna continue. Get back up to these areas. Uh, uh, uh. Thailand's fun. But Thai is a place everybody says is really seedy. Um, I'm going to Siem Reap, Cambodia next. Going to see Angkor Wat. Retail's starting to come in. Floki long. I haven't looked at Floki. It's been around for a minute, right? Yeah. I don't know. Daily bear div, probably a good place to get out, in my opinion. I think Floki will probably go down, but it's hard to predict this shit. You know what I mean? You're getting bear divs here. I mean, how much more is freaking Peppy gonna go up? I don't know. How about Bonk? Bonk. Bonk. Slightly higher high. Yeah, I wasn't super confident with that trade setup, so I mean I didn't want people to like go crazy on it. I probably should. It was irresponsible of me to enter this large of a position last night. Um, I just see I didn't tag everybody, but yeah. Was weed legal in Thailand? Yes, there's a lot of dispensaries everywhere. It's not. I haven't been to any of them. It's not my thing. I believe it's pretty cheap too, probably compared to the prices in the United States. I haven't really smelled it though, or noticed anyone smoking it. They're probably very strict if you're smoking it in public. Definitely can't get away with that. Hmm. Now, the ApeCoin ETH evaluation been kind of flat, but I do think it should be able to pull it off here. That weekly is a little concerning though, so we'll definitely have to see what happens. But I like the trigger waves. I like some of the stuff happening. Yeah. Yeah, I read about that too, Will Charles. So far, it has not been reversed. I get there. I think once weed becomes legal and there's dispensaries everywhere, I don't think it could become completely reversed. I think they could get a little bit stricter with it and put more regulation into it. But I think once the toothpaste is out of the bottle, I think it's always going to be legal. I think other countries will probably get more lax on it as well. I've been to Chiang Mai years ago. I'm not going there this time, but yeah, um, yeah. I mean, Bangkok's like the big city, like the New York of it, the New York City of it all. If you like big buildings and rooftop bars and all that shit, then Bangkok is the place. Um, I really like Bangkok. I mean, I extended my. I was only planning on spending like a week here. Now I'm gonna be here for a few more days. So, and I mean, you can't beat like it's hard to find like an Airbnb that has a 4K monitor like I have here. And for the price I'm paying for this place, I mean, 350 a week. Like this place got a pool, a gym. Like I mean, you can't find that anywhere in the world, really. I mean, there's only a few places in the world where you could find that. Patong, no, that's in Pattaya. I think I've been, or no, that's in Phuket. I think I've been there, but no, I'm going to Siem Reap after, um, Cambodia. No, Chiang Mai's north. Chiang Mai? Are you talking about? Chiang Mai is northern Thailand. Chiang Mai is really nice. I've been to Chiang Mai, going up with those mountains and stuff. Chiang Mai's cool. Don't think I'm gonna hit it this time. I want to hit. I'm hitting Cambodia, then I'm hitting Vietnam, and then maybe Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, and then maybe Bali at the end. Yeah, I take things one day at a time. I'm not really, you know, if I like a place, I stay in it longer. You know. Um, yeah, yeah. Why not, CBZ? Let's chat for a little bit. I'll get you on. Let me send. Give me a second here, guys. Um, let me send the link to CBZ. Let's see here. Hmm. let's see. Let's see. Copy invite link. Yeah, that should be good. All right, I'll DM it to you on Discord right now, Josh. Let me just. Okay. I just sent you the link. Um. Okay. 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 Oh. Mutant apes, yeah, they're not. They're definitely underwhelming. I'm pretty disappointed with it. I thought they would bounce, against ETH a while ago, to be honest. Like I thought that four ETH evaluation was probably the bottom. They're still holding 10K in US dollar amount, which is pretty good. Potentially they could act like some altcoins and outperform ETH even if we do correct here for a few months. Um, the thing is, it's a little weird here and concerning is like, yeah, you're at 2.6 ETH. There's not really much to latch onto. There's 2.8 right here. How do I zoom in on this shit, right? I want to zoom in on that if I'm able to. Oh, no, that doesn't really. Yeah, it's a problem here is like, I want to. Is there a way to. Oh, yeah, the 2.8 and then the. Yeah, so you're just in no man's land unless we could zoom into this. If there's a way to. Oh. No, that doesn't really help us either because that's weird. That's just wow. I don't know how if we could really nah because yeah, you're not that 2.8 is big and then freaking that's the thing here. I mean, let's go on a 7 day. I just want to see if hmm right there. I mean, it does look like you could be kind of bottoming out, but it seems like it just keeps going lower. But I'm holding. I'm just gonna hold for a year and see. Um, I think the fact that ApeCoin is doing decent is kind of like a good sign. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a good sign. Let me just see if yeah, okay. Oh, there he is. I think I hear you. Could you hear me, Josh?
Yeah, I got you, Evan.
Yeah, let me just oh, I just gotta change one quick thing here to so they could hear you. Let me just see if I could fix that real quick. Where is it? I think it's oh yeah. Loop. No, not that one. I think we're looking at that one. What's going on with this? It should work. Oh, I think I know. Oh, wait a second. Oh, okay, okay. Say something, Josh. Can you hear me, Josh?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I think I got you.
All right, you can hear me though?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Can you hear me?
You should be able to hear me.
Can you hear me?
Um,
Can you hear me, bro?
huh. Testing, testing, testing. Now, yeah, you should be.
I could hear you. I don't know if you could
Oh,
hear
maybe I
me.
can't hear you. Is that the
Yeah, I
type in
could definitely hear you.
the di- You can hear me. I can't hear
Yeah, I can
you.
hear you. Can't hear me?
Weird. What did I? Let me see something here. Wait.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hmm.
Testing.
That is weird.
Let me see.
Oh, that's so weird. I can't hear Josh though. Why can't I?
Can
How do I
everyone
set
else
this
hear me?
on? Oh, yeah. I think they can hear you, but I can't. Wait, say something now.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, okay. I just got to give me a second. I could hear you now, but now they can't. Damn it. Let me figure this out. Just try to like keep talking so I could like freaking. Yeah, it's like so complicated to do the sound settings here. I think it's that one. Oh, is it that?
Testing. Can you hear me now?
I could hear you. Can you hear me?
I could definitely hear you.
Yeah, now they can't. That's the fucking problem.
Oh, shit.
Wait a
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, it's like weird because like whenever I would get it to work. I just don't. Wait,
Hmm.
Josh, say something.
Say something.
Okay, yeah, now we're good. Now we're good. I think
All
that
right, good.
yeah, it should be good now. Now everybody should be able to hear you. Um,
All right, cool.
yeah, how's it going? How's it going?
Man, how's it going with you? You're in Bangkok. I mean, you've been there for a good week now, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've been here. It's great. Have you been to Thailand?
No, I was invited to go like around Thanksgiving time with my cousin and I never made it, but it would have been my first time. I wanted to go.
It's a fun place. It's interesting. It's cool. Um, definitely definitely a good break from the U.S. Being on the other side of the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. How long you out there for, man?
Let's see. I am gonna be in Asia until like the beginning of April. I'm heading to Cambodia in a couple days. Siem Reap, Cambodia. You know the have you heard of
Um,
Angkor Wat, the giant temple with the moat near
I
it?
have.
Yeah,
I'm like a history geek. So like I like anything with like ancient history, like Egypt. Um, yeah, Cambodia has a lot of history. Yeah, man, that sounds like a lot of fun.
yeah. It will be. And then I'm going to Vietnam after that, and
When are you
the,
coming back?
the beginning of April, like about a month from now, maybe a little 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh wow, you're good. You're good. Have fun, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're still killing it, even though you're across the other side of the world.
Yeah, yeah, it's
The Discord's been good. You've been on fire. You've been like you said. I heard you say you haven't lost a trade in a while. Yeah, I don't think I've seen you lose a trade in a while. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this Bitcoin long works out. Maybe this is where structure breaks and we finally break downward. But yeah, I'm on since you're on the Asian time, you're on the China you're like not competing against China. You're following China with your trades.
right, right.
It's funny.
I'm texting my IG group right now. Maybe some more people will hop on. I'm letting them know I'm online with you.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
Um, so that's it. Just I seen you in a Bitcoin long, and there was something else I think I seen on your in a trade, right?
Yeah, I was in a ETH long that got stopped out in profit. I took an ETH short like last night. I took most of the profits off of that. I mean, everybody could see it in the stream, and then The Bitcoin long I just entered, so that's kind of a freebie. I think that we could, come up in the short term a bit here on Bitcoin. I mean the money flow is kind of coming up on lower time frames.
Yeah, let's check it out. I'm on my phone right now, just chilling. But
What time is it there where you are?
10:45.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not too late. But yeah.
Yeah, let me scroll up. I'm gonna scroll up to my watch list. I'm gonna go on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm trying to always like watch out for those altcoins, trying to find some good looking charts that I could signal something.
Oh
But
yeah.
I feel a little mixed. I told the Discord earlier, I feel a little mixed, man. I feel it's a little bearish. It's still macro, is still bullish, obviously.
Yeah. We got a
But
new moon too.
you're what?
New moon. There's a new moon.
That's right. You know, some people really watch those moon indicators. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, geez, how do they work? I notice sometimes it's kind of a trip. It does work.
It
I don't know
works a
about every
little
time,
bit.
but yeah,
New moon is bearish if you didn't know. New moon's bearish. Full moon is bullish.
full moon. Okay, yeah, no, I don't watch it. I don't have that indicator on my favorites or anything. But every time someone pulls it up, I'm like, they have a little something to it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the
So what do
all-time
you?
high
Okay,
kind.
so,
Go
so
ahead.
what are you looking at on? I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. Obviously, I'm on my phone. I don't even know. Can I even share screen if I wanted to on my
You
phone?
might be able to. I don't see why it wouldn't let you share a phone screen.
Right. Oh, I do
Um,
see it. Oh, I see the share button. Yeah, I'm barely looking at it. So, uh, what made you get in along? Let me see. I'm trying to see what you're seeing here.
regaining VWAP, money flow coming up on lower time frames. I think we got what do we got? A trigger wave forming on the 2 hour. Uh,
Oh, you mean like we yeah, after the VWAP reset. When the VWAP reset, it like yeah, it reset and it like tanked down and it reclaimed it real quick.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I see that. I took a long on Theta right at the pretty much around the VWAP reset, and I swear I made like I had like I don't know 20x on it. I didn't even have time to post. I posted it in the IG group, and by the time I was trying to post it in the Discord, it already had went up like geez 3%. So I made like 60% in like a minute and a half.
It's up
And
to
I
let's
just I
see. Yeah. It's
so
about
I
to
just closed
retest
it like
VWAP.
at
Yeah.
yeah, I closed it when I hit 60%. I literally just closed it real quick. But let me see. Oh yeah, it's testing VWAP as we speak. Yeah.
Mm.
But man, how do you feel about Theta? That's been like it's like acting like Solana did what a couple months ago, just nonstop.
I like Theta, man. I mean, I think it's gonna continue to generally do well. I mean, its ETH pair does look pretty good too, especially on that weekly on the ETH pair.
Wow.
It's very deflationary, so I think that it probably will eventually get up to around $9 at least. Close back to all-time highs. Um,
Right.
yeah, no, I like
Yeah,
Theta.
I think a lot of our OG coins are good foundational coins will definitely hit our all-time highs again. Like Solana, I think
Oh
we all
yeah,
could agree. I think Solana will probably blow past what was all-time high for Solana? Like 250,
250
270.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're already more than halfway there. I like Solana. I watched the what's his name? Are you familiar with Ben Gertzel?
I
Ben,
think I've heard that name. It's not somebody I watch though.
Yeah, he's not even really a crypto guy. He's like an AI guy. But he went on
Okay.
on someone's channel recently, and I listened to his it was like maybe it was BitBoy Crypto. I just noticed
Huh.
he was a guest on the channel, and I wanted to listen to him because I like him a lot. He's a very smart dude, and he was explaining how like Cardano is probably going to be like basically saying Cardano is going to be like one of your best coins when it comes to the security of the decentralized systems and kind of like Bitcoin. Bitcoin never been hacked, and it just has a good foundation, and it has a lot of good developers behind it, and
Mm.
people that are trying to make like honest, honest developments. And so I like it just because mainly because of the team behind it, and every smart dude I listen to, um, uh always has some good things to say about it. That's why I advise anybody that's into Cardano, I'll find that damn YouTube. Um I was watching it earlier today. But anyone into Cardano, it was a great interview, and I think his name was Ben Gertzel.
Mm.
I gotta find it though, but when I find it, I'll let the group know.
Yeah, yeah. Now, so Cardano, I mean, I think Cardano versus ETH does look decent. Because a lot of things do look like they could have already bottomed out against ETH. I'm looking at it's a big place for Cardano versus ETH. And, I wouldn't say it looks the best, but it looks pretty good. Cardano and
Uh-huh.
a lot of altcoins are kind of forming what we're getting close to a weekly bear div with money flow coming out and a lot of things, um, especially on Cardano. So that would probably
Cardano.
signify a correction.
You
Coming.
know, I don't watch those pairs. Like you like to watch the ETH pair, like
Yeah.
Cardano ETH. I don't watch that too often, but you make me want to look at it and start saving it in my watch list.
Yeah, no, I look at them a lot because, if it can't outperform ETH, then I mean, what's the point?
Right.
But this could, this reverse head and shoulder type thing. I mean, I do think that you got a good shot of getting back up to that area, that evaluation that we saw in December. Um, I mean, the thing too is that you got to be, I mean, from August 21, Cardano has bled 80% against ETH. 80%. So,
Let me look at this. ADA/ETH. Let me see.
or you could just type in ADA ETH.
All right. There you go. Check the Coinbase one. And what time frame are you on?
Uh, the weekly forming that trigger wave. For the weekly bear div is
Oh,
just on ADA USD, just regular. But
oh yeah, I did see the weekly bear div on the
yeah,
regular ADA USDT, but I'm looking at ADA ETH, and it's kind of the opposite. It's kind of getting towards a maybe a trigger wave. It's not even close to clipping or anything like that, but the ADA ETH, yeah, that looks good. I mean, we got to wait for some more confirmations, but
yeah.
you look at the daily, you have a nice bull div on the ADA ETH.
Let's see there. Yeah, it's forming. Yeah,
It's forming right there, yeah. And there's a bottom on it, which is around, wow, there's a lot of zeros in front of that. But if you it's like three zeros, 180,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
where that's kind of like a nice little bottom right there.
yeah.
Um yeah, I'm gonna start watching these because of you, man.
Yeah. AVAX ETH just had a 50% jump. AVAX versus ETH, so that could be a place where AVAX starts to show some more strength here. I think, at least against ETH, and
Yeah.
what could happen is even if everything does come down for a couple months, even if we do have a correction, some of these altcoins may hold up better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some of them might not, but some of them might. If you follow kind of the 4-year cycle.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. So after that little YouTube video I watched earlier, I ended up buying a little bit more Cardano, just for, long-term investment.
Yeah.
But I found it. If anyone's interested, anyone that's listening, it's on the Discover Crypto um, YouTube channel. Um, and it
Okay.
looks like it was pretty much the last video they posted. So
Huh.
I thought it was a pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good one. If anyone wants to watch that, it's about an hour long.
It's like a, just want to find it like very interesting random pair like Cardano versus Flow. Because Flow has looked pretty good in recent times. The Flow is, ADA is starting to dump against Flow a little bit. Flow. New one, but yeah.
So I'm in no trades right now, but I've been looking for one. I think coming into Monday morning, I don't know. There's going to be some setups that are forming, and I think tomorrow morning might be a pretty volatile day. That's just a feeling that I
Oh
have.
yeah.
So I'm trying to look for like the best looking chart, and when I find it, I will post it.
XRP.
Maddox been
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Maddox been on a tear. I'm looking at that right now.
Matic, that's a good one on its ETH pair. That's a good one on its ETH pair.
Let's try this. I'm gonna try sharing my screen. I'm gonna see how it
Okay.
works through the phone.
Yeah, see if you're able to.
And you let me know.
Yeah.
It's working?
So far no. It just says CBZ. Um, hmm.
Hmm.
You hit like the button that says,
Yeah, I hit share now, and then I put share screen, and then I don't know. Let's see if I can figure it out.
hmm. Yeah, it might be tough to do on the iPhone.
Let me. Hmm. Yeah, I know. Oh, here we go. This might be it.
Yeah, wrong one
Nothing still.
there. No, no.
That's weird. Huh. Anyways, I'll figure it out next time, man.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, Matic, that looks good in its ETH pair. That looks. Oh, now you got it. You're sharing your screen. I see your
Oh,
iPhone.
okay, cool. Oh, just so everyone knows, this was the one I was uh looking at. It's AI scientist issues massive warning for crypto holders. He talks a little bit about that kind of stuff, but
Okay.
he talks a lot about Cardano and a lot of the stuff, some stuff that I didn't know about it, so I liked it. All right. I was looking at Matic, like, man, it's keeping up the money flow strong from like all the higher time frames. Is it lagging by any chance when I'm like squeezing and stretching
No,
it?
you're good. You're good. It's not bad. We could see. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was just looking at the money flow on Matic. It's just staying strong for a long time, pretty much since January 24th. It's just been on a tear.
Mm,
That's for that I'm looking at a higher time frame, but for something to like trade, man, I've been just trying to like find a good chart, something with some confluence with it, a good reason why I see, hopefully see. If you look here, like on the 2 hour, this is kind of what I would be looking at on a chart like this. Is let me get my brush. It's a little harder here. It's just you just see anytime you get a pretty much like a green dot, which would be this area, and then obviously this area, right, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So like typical stuff, like looking. So like if I see Matic come down, and I notice on my EMAs, if you see the blue line, it's been reacting to that one the most. You could just see it. The blue line is the 100 EMA, so that's a good point where we could probably touch. So if I see the price come down, let me see. I know it's probably annoying. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're
Um,
good.
if we come down, and even if the red one, which the red one's the 50, but if we come down, hit the blue line or somewhere in between the blue and the red, which is our 50 and 100, and we're getting a trigger wave on say like a 2 hour, 3 hour, then I'm gonna start looking down my time frames for better entries. So who knows how long that could take. If you look at I guess the last couple times we hit the red money flow in like the 30 minute, you would want to look for some entries right there. Um, these momentum waves look the same on the bear ones that are in the red money flow. So those look like that's kind of maybe what something I would look for. I'd probably wait for Matic to come down a little bit before I start to feel comfortable putting it along. What am I trying to do? Uh, so so that's kind of what I'm saying. I've been looking at Matic a little bit, Solana, all the ones that I kind of you see me trade often. Um, but I don't really feel comfortable because I'll look at like say this 15 minute. This looks like it could possibly go into the red a little bit more. Again, we take it to the 2 hour.
Yeah.
We got VWAP curving up a little bit right there.
Yeah.
It's just curving up strong enough. It's not. It just made the curve, so I want to see. I want to see more confidence in
Right.
this red X on the candle. There's always been a few more red candles after it, like this one here. There's still a few more candles after it. So we just started another red X on the first 2 hour candle. So I'm expecting maybe a few more red candles that will perform the trigger wave, and then maybe we could scroll down a small time frame and find a nice entry. And I think that's what I said. I think that's going to happen it's going to happen like probably overnight. We'll probably some of these smaller time frames might start to turn bullish again by tomorrow morning. I don't know. Maybe it takes longer. Maybe it kangaroos longer and then dumps. It's hard to say. You just got to wait for it to. You got to wait for it to all be singing the same song. So I'm waiting for my time frames to have more confluence, man. I haven't made a trade. Just that data scalp. That's all.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, I think that, it's kind of like the debate of do we keep the same structure, we keep going up, or do we finally break structure here and see a dump downward? I mean,
Yeah, very,
Go
very
ahead.
much so. Yeah.
I mean, I
No,
was gonna
I'm
say
just saying
March of
very much so.
2020. Yeah, if you're looking at the 4-year cycle, March of 2020.
Well, show me. I'll stop or I'll stop sharing my screen once
No,
I
I was
figure
gonna
out how to
say,
do it.
COVID was March of 2020. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. That daily on Solana though is a little bit a
The
2 day.
bear did.
Yeah, and money flow coming out.
And then, of course, you take it up the time frames. You see the bear diffs forming all right there. Even though money flows up,
Yeah. The
even
three
though
days
money
not
flows,
as bad, but yeah.
yeah, even though money flows up, you get a little bear div like this. You might get some red candles like how we did here, and then kind of come down, then maybe up.
Hmm.
That's yeah, I'm leaning a little more bearish, but like in the short term, you could still have a nice pop up. Today, tomorrow. Those daily bear divs, they don't play out on the first day or second day. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%, man. 100%.
Let me see here. All right.
Hmm. Let's see. Yeah,
What do
now
we
I'm
got?
see. Yeah, so I'm
What do we
still
got in the chat here?
Bitcoin coming. Uh, let's see. Are we coming down a little bit? A little bit. We're coming down on Bitcoin. Nothing too bad. It looks good in your 5 minute though. Trigger wave forming. So I think we'll just be range bound a little bit. Probably more sideways until the morning, and then we're gonna see. Do we break upward or do we lose 67K? I think that's the big question right now.
What are you leaning towards?
Man. I would say probably we break upward, get up to like back up to 69 something, and then after that, I think we're probably gonna come down more. Like
Yeah,
I feel like we're gonna be kind of sideways. I don't know. Like
like a fake dump. Like we might dump a little bit, scare some people out, and then just come back up.
yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean that's kind of what we just saw. Oh man, not that long, 12 hours ago, 5 hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah.
Let's see, somebody's asking about Phantom right now. Let's look at Phantom. Do you own
Go for
Phantom?
it. Yeah, I have a little bit of Phantom. I actually did I post the trade in the Discord of Phantom a couple days ago? Maybe not. It was a scalp. I wasn't in it long, but
Mm,
I made a decent Phantom trade like maybe 2, 3 days ago.
mm. It still looks decent. Let's look at its ETH pair. That looks pretty good against ETH, yeah. Looks decent. Let's see, somebody's saying Monday the Fed is stopping a program that supports the banks. We did a similar thing, markets. There was a recession. Okay. Okay, B. Baker. So, yeah, I don't think we're going into recession until probably after the election, if we do.
Mm.
There's not as much of a talk about recession anymore as there was like 6 months ago or a year ago.
Mm. That could be because the media don't want to make Biden look bad before the voting starts happening.
I think part of it could be that. Also, like just the fact that the S&P 500 keeps going up. Like if the S&P 500 is at all-time highs, it's not. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be topical to talk about a recession. Um,
True. Yeah, I haven't looked at the S&P. Let me take a look at that.
it's at all-time highs or above. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
done.
last time I looked at it, I seen it was all-time highs. It wasn't that long ago. It was probably like a few days ago.
Yeah, no, it's done well. Um, I think we should be good until that 2 week on the S&P 500. Until that 2 week gives us a bear div, but that could be months away. Um, we're at 511 right now. I think we could hit like 560 by the end of the year. Maybe like if Bitcoin's at new all like 80K, 90K by the end of the year, S&P 500 at 560 or something. I could see that.
Do they trade inversely? Have you noticed? I feel
They
like I used to
follow.
know if they did. They follow?
Generally, it follows. Yeah, I mean, generally, 2022 was very close for S&P 500. Bitcoin generally a
Unlike,
down year.
yeah, right.
Um,
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like it follows. The damn time frames look similar to Bitcoin.
Yeah. Um,
Except the weekly. I was looking at like the dailies.
that weekly
The
bear,
weekly, yeah, the
yeah.
weekly is like Bitcoin's barely getting into the green money flow on the weekly, whereas S&P is, yeah, it's it has a nice money flow.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Do you trade it at all? You trade these stocks?
A little bit. Some individual stocks. I'm not as good at stocks, really. They're not as
They take
Go ahead.
yeah, they take more time.
I've been looking at PayPal trying to catch that falling knife, but it's just been so flat, nothing's happening.
Mm.
I think that weekly looks pretty good. I think it'll eventually come back, but it's just, it's going to take time. Um,
Yeah,
Kind of gives me
PayPal.
vibes of like Bitcoin in, summer of 23. You remember that? Like, that was a boring summer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just nothing
But
was
it was a
happening.
boring summer, but it was actually really good because that was pretty much the that was a bottom for if you wanted to put some hot some cryptos in your hodl bag. Shoot. August, July,
Yeah,
June, all that last year, that was pretty much the bottom of a lot of these
Bitcoin and
coins.
ETH, yeah, but not some of the altcoins. It wasn't until September, October, but yeah.
Oh, so yeah, maybe, but generally within those like few months of each other, I don't know, July through
Yeah,
September, something like that. That was pretty much an overall good time to get in. And I bought some back there. I wish, you always say I wish I would have bought more, but I had bought some during that time. Of course, like I think we all did.
yeah.
But if you look at it, man, like Link 1 week. Look at the 1 week and look at the inverse head and shoulders. I mean, we already played some of the move on the inverse head and shoulders weekly, but that's a measured move, so it still has a lot room higher. So if you did that measured move, what is that? What is that top? If you add the
Oh, are you
head,
talking about like well, there's a few different. I mean, we hit one technical target that we're kind of messing around with right now, around $21. Um, if you were to
no, just
kind,
bringing like just drawing a line from the bottom of the head to the shoulder, and then adding it to the shoulder to see like where your
are you talking about? I don't see no head and shoulder here.
inverse
I
on the
don't see
weekly.
on Chainlink.
Yeah,
Oh,
am I?
you're talking about the giant. Oh my God, yeah, you're talking
It's a
about
giant one. Yeah, so if we're in a bull market now,
yeah.
then this is the best time to actually make that. Yeah, it's a giant head.
Their
It's
technical
almost
target would be around all-time highs, almost $50 around, like high 40s,
yes.
which
Okay,
I
yeah,
think
I
we'll
got,
get there. We'll get there within the next year to year and a half. Yeah,
and I hope a lot more. Do you own Chainlink?
I do. Yeah, I think you might be able to get up to like $100 maybe. Um, for a lot of these bigger caps, like I could see a 3 to 5x kind of on a lot of these bigger caps. I mean, maybe more. Maybe that's
3 to 5x from the all-time high,
from where we're at right now. Like
and you think that would be the top for a lot of those coins?
it depends. For a lot of coins do bleed against Bitcoin over long periods of time. So for a lot of them, it could be, but some other ones may do a lot better. Like I don't think anything in the top 10 if top 15 is going to do too much more than like a 5x. You know what I mean?
Right. True. Yeah, you're not going to get your meme coin gains on like Ethereum or one of these top 10 like you're saying. It just takes a lot more money, right, to move the price because they have a
Yeah.
higher market cap. So yeah, that makes sense generally.
I mean,
I
Chainlink's at a $12 billion market cap right now. Like, could it go to a 40 or 50 billion? Yes, I think so. Could it go to 100 billion in the next year to year and a
yeah,
half? Probably not.
then that's when you kind of take a look at the total market cap. What was our all-time high in the total market cap
Of all crypto, you're saying?
of all cryptos? Yeah,
Oh, it was almost 3 trillion. Now it's at 2.5 trillion.
3 trillion.
I think
Yeah,
total could get up to like freaking 4 trillion maybe. Four, may probably. I mean, 700 to there. I mean, it could get maybe at the high end 6 trillion. It's hard to say. Like
yeah.
in the next year. I mean, if you're looking at like this chart looks really freaking bullish. Like if you're looking at something like this, the chart I'm looking at right now. I mean, I mean, he got like one technical target that's at freaking, man, maybe like, yeah, five, four, probably somewhere between 4 to 6 trillion. I think you'll end up at four
I'm
to
trying to
six.
find how I can. I'm trying to find if there's a pendulum to make some spider lines on this chart.
You probably could. Yeah, you definitely could.
I'm trying to find it, but I want to go back far enough. You can't do it too close to the current prices. I
Oh
think,
my,
yeah.
I just figured out something wild. So if you look at the
Okay.
all-time high for total in January 2018, put it to the low of December 2018, the next high peaked out at the what fib level was that? I think that's the
So
four.
I'm sorry, say those dates again.
Okay,
What from
okay. So
2018?
bull market top in 2018, January 2018, take a fib level from there, put it all the way down to December of 18, the bottom, that bear market bottom. It
Oh
gave
yeah,
us the top was the level, the top level, like the
it looks like
4.2.
it looks like the same one as Bitcoin,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That fib
right?
level it
Yeah.
gave right, it was right there. So if we repeat that, let me just see what that would give us if we were to repeat that. That would give us
Make
almost
some.
a $10 trillion market cap. That would be nuts. I don't think we're gonna go that high, but
I do. I think it's gonna be our best.
in the next
Well,
year, that soon.
I mean, if you think about it on a percentage gain, like how much more percent can we go from here versus like how we did say from even 2013 or 2017? Those are bigger percentage gaps
Oh yeah, yeah.
from the bottoms to the all-time highs.
No, you could.
So I
That's
don't
only
think
a
it. I
three
don't
hundred.
think it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say
No,
it's
you
only
go
a
ahead.
300% gain to get there for total, so it's not impossible. Yeah.
Right.
Finish what you were gonna say though. I cut you off. What were you saying?
I'm bad at once I tell someone to say something, I forget mine right away.
You were saying about why you think we could get that high, like why you think it could go like to that $10 trillion market cap almost.
Oh, I mean, just I think because and Michael Saylor said it. Well, he said, well, a lot of people said it, but he said basically this is the Bitcoin gold rush between now and he said it started off in January of this year, the Bitcoin gold rush, especially with the ETF and everything, and
Hmm.
so I have a, but it's just a gut instinct. There's no other reason why I feel that way, but because of the way I feel in my gut. But I think this will be like a much crazier and very volatile bull
Hmm.
run. I think it's going to get crazy high. I think it's going to go higher than what does the consensus say that Bitcoin will reach this bull run? I'm hearing like from 120 to maybe 240. It's kind of like where I hear most people say. What do you think the consensus on Bitcoin's all-time high this bull run?
Somewhere between like 100 flat on the low end, I think, to on the high end, like 150. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people are.
I mean, it could
Yeah,
go higher. I don't know, but
I'm
I
more
don't.
on like
Yeah.
the above 200. And I think I don't know, it seems like a lot, but I won't say above two. I'll definitely say then like if you're at top 150, that's my bottom, I think.
Wow. I mean,
And
there's gonna be people are going to knock it down at 100. I don't see a scenario where it doesn't at least get knocked down significantly once we hit 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, it's the Bitcoin gold rush, like he said, man. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are going to get some gold. A lot of people will sell it, and then we're going to have our typical 4-year cycle again. But I think this one's going to be a volatile one because
Mm,
once the bull market hits, I think a lot of institutional will probably push the price up, so you get new institutions adding it to their portfolios, hedge funds, and everything.
mm.
And they'll probably be a lot of the reason why the price goes up and get retail to FOMO in, and then we'll have another repeat of our last cycle, and then it just crashes, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it probably won't be, it may only be like a 60 or even maybe a 50% correction. Like, say we get up to 100, maybe it'll, if the high is what, 120, maybe it'll just crash to 50 or 60K or something.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I agree with that. Yeah, I would think somewhere. I would
like,
think somewhere over 30% for sure.
the ETF came out at around 48K, so I think that's like, I don't really see it going much below 48K.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you bought the ETF in the beginning, like ETF so far was not obviously not sell the news. Halving is coming up in about a month to it's about April 20th, so a little over a month, 5 weeks. That could be sell the news. That I could see being like a sell the news and bringing us into like a boring summer kind of. Um,
Yeah. What's the yeah? What's the chat saying? Let's see
let's
here.
see. AZTV, let's see. He bought iBit at 23 bucks. What if Bitcoin stays above 50K for now on? Yeah, I think there's a decent shot. I mean, 50K, let's just see what kind of correction that would be if we were to dump to 50K from right now. That's about a 27%er. I kind of think we're going to revisit 48K at some point by the summer, kind of by like midsummer, I would guess.
Really depends on how high we go too. If we go too high, 48 might not be it.
Yeah. Um, I mean, there's going to be sell pressure at some points. Like you don't, nothing goes straight up. There's always those typical 20 to 30% corrections.
Yeah.
But generally on the macro, yeah, I'm still pretty bullish. I think a lot of the gains probably can be made with alts over the next year. Um, this could be kind of the no-brainer cycle where just once we hit 100K, just start to slowly get out of the markets. I don't know though. Um,
Right.
Depending on where we are in the cycle, because the way I am looking at it right now, we could probably hit where like we could probably hit like 100K. If we hit 100K in February of 25, so about a year from now, I would assume that would bring us some type of significant correction. Maybe we come down from there, and then you get one last rally up to 150 or something in late 25. Or it could be early 26. It could be. It could take its time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Um,
Like this year, yeah. Well, it started in January, December, and then it really kicked off kind of kicked off in January, right?
yeah.
When did we start going from like 30s to like 40s, 50s? It happened quick. Got to look at the chart again.
Yeah.
Forget.
Bro, what I was gonna ask you is like I feel like summer of almost every year historically has been a pretty good time to buy. Like in the grand scheme
Yeah.
of things, like just summer, like July, August of every year, I feel like has even like in 21, July, August, like obviously, you would have had to get out at the end of the year, but I mean, July, August, and
They have a chart on that. You could look at like every month how much did Bitcoin or gain, it was there's a chart on that where you can see how it did every month since
yeah,
it's
yeah.
set.
But
Yeah.
you can't view like, the year later, you know what I mean? 6 months to a year later, what it was like, because I just want to, I want to circle I'm just going to circle every summer for the last like few years here. Like, let's just see, June of 2020, I'm just circling on my chart just to,
Yeah.
okay, except for 2019. except for 2019. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't bad. Um, oh yeah, never mind. Once you get to 18, I mean, yeah, it's good places in the macro, but yeah, certain times you do in that second half of that year. But coming into the election year, I would think markets would pump in the second half of this year as they typically do in election years, unless you see
Yeah,
like an
that was the
'08
summer right
scenario.
there
Yeah,
too.
what's that?
That last circle you put, that was the summer.
Yeah, all of them were summers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's pretty much. Yeah, I kind of get that sense too, where every summer seems to be like a good time to buy, like long term and just hold. Do you sell a lot of your long term holdings? Like when you see bearish signs, like on higher time. I know you're not selling your long term holdings because of a 1 hour time frame or anything, but I'm
um,
saying like if you see something pretty bearish on a high time frame, say like on a weekly time frame, in would you do you cash out some of it and then try to wait for the ride back down?
yeah, well, if it's in long-term capital gains, usually yes. Especially if I do say something very alarming, such as like a weekly or 2 week bear div, things like historically that are bad. Um,
Yeah,
you know, but yeah, yeah, I can. It's not something I try to do things gradually, get in, get out, kind of gradually. Um, but yeah, nobody ever went broke taking profits. I mean, if you're up 300% on something that you held for a few years and there's a giant bear div in the weekly, I mean, and you're in long-term capital gains, like you're gonna make a lot if you take some profits on that. Depends,
right.
depends what you want to spend that money on. You want to convert that money over to something safer, or something less volatile, S&P 500, NASDAQ. Do you want to pay off your mortgage with that? Do you want to pay off your car, pay off debt with that? I mean, depends what you want to do.
You're absolutely right. It's very circumstantial for
Yeah,
everybody, I guess, independently. You're right.
yeah, it's just very, there's no right or wrong way, but what I will say is, a lot of times like think about it this way, like S&P 500, typically Nasdaq as well, I would say would give you around a 8 to 10% yearly gain factored in for inflation. If you have, $3 million dollars in a diversified portfolio of S&P 500 and Nasdaq, it's about 300 grand a year. I believe that's
You
long-term
could just
cap.
live off that,
Yeah,
obviously, and just never have to work again.
exactly, exactly. I believe that, that's 300 grand a year, and then that's long-term capital gains, I believe. Yeah, if you're holding it for a year. If you have that in retirement accounts, that could become short-term category, ordinary income. But assuming it's long-term capital gains, I mean, you're not paying much taxes on that. You're keeping like 80% of that, I think, at least. 15, yeah, something like
True.
that. So I mean, you got to you're basically living off of a salary of 400 grand a year if you have 3 million. Yeah, I mean that's a like you could live anywhere in the world. You could, even just you could spend half of that money and live a very luxurious lifestyle, I think, and even take some of that and invest it into crypto and do other things too. So, um,
Yeah, no, for sure. That exactly. Yeah, again, it's very situational. However you want to live your life, right?
yeah, definitely. I mean,
Me,
you
I
could
would put that
go.
3 million on one Bitcoin long and just, go hard or go home. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. I wouldn't risk it.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't
yeah,
risk.
that's Michael Saylor strategy. I mean, I think that the difference between that is like if you took $3 million and you DCA'd into Bitcoin over like 2 year let's say a 2 year period or at least like a 1 year period, that would make a lot more sense rather than putting like if I had to choose between putting $3 million into Bitcoin right now versus putting $3 million into like the Nasdaq or S&P 500 right now, like putting a lump sum in, I would 100% pick the Nasdaq or S&P 500 just because, you know what I mean? Like you may be waiting a
Yeah,
while before Bitcoin really gives you that return, and you don't get compound interest on Bitcoin. Like that's the other thing too. You don't get compound interest unless you buy ETH. ETH you
boys.
can. You could stake ETH. You could do You could do those like validators and stuff on ETH where you get a nice return. I think it's like at least a 7% a year or something. I got to look more into that though. Um,
Right.
but the compound interest is what makes like those S&P 500 and Nasdaq gains bigger.
And
That kind of takes away.
it's
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, and it's safer, obviously.
Yeah, and
Not
you.
to say I think we all believe in Bitcoin, but it's definitely safer as far as security, and knowing the history behind the returns on such an index like S&P and Nasdaq,
Yeah,
and yeah, so
exactly.
definitely a smart move. But if you could split it, I would split it in half, one and a
Yeah,
half mil. If you had, I would do that. But if you had the option of a lump sum, that's a smart option, guys. That's probably the better answer. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Diversification. I mean, throw in real estate, throw in a sports team too. Those usually are good investments. Um,
Hmm.
Need to bet
Sports
$1 billion
team,
for that.
sports teams.
Yeah, how much is sports teams worth? $1 billion, probably, right? Or more?
Yeah, around there. And it depends. Yeah, like if you're talking NFL, I think Cowboys are the like the most expensive football team. I think they're around like 4.5 billion, maybe 5 billion, and so that's the most I know for football. So on the low end, it's probably like 9 figures or something. The high
Yeah,
9 figures.
yeah. I think maybe a hockey team would be cheaper, maybe like 500 mil or something.
Oh, 100%, maybe even less than that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
an MLS soccer team that probably would go down in value.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I talk about the basketball, football, and baseball are probably like the best commodities as far as at least what America watches.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to think like other like I mean, what do you think of real estate right now? Do you think real estate's a good investment, or do you think it's too overheated?
Um, well, I mean, real estate's always been a good investment. And depending on how long you held your real estate, kind of like I guess assets like crypto. But uh, you know, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on whether I know it's good. It's kind of, I feel like it's mixed. I have mixed feelings. I feel like it could go either way, to be honest. And
Yeah,
that's just a lot has to do with because of the political people in office right now and the potential political. I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but if I had to choose, I would always buy real estate. I don't think it's overheated as in pricing, not just yet, but I do think there'll be a better time to also buy not that far away.
I think that we got a couple more years for real estate. Like I think into the end of the decade, like late this decade or early next decade is where we'll see kind of
That Yeah, that's pretty much what I meant by like not far away, like a couple years.
yeah. I think the
That's cool.
2030s economically for everything will be pretty bearish. Like I don't. I think that's when you're.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to the Great Depression, huh? Because that was the 30s and the
That's
1930s was a depression.
yes. Yeah. I think. I mean, I think we will. And there's also the 20-year kind of theory where usually you have a 20 years of like S&P 500 doing very well, and then you get a 1 decade where it does awful. I think we could see something like that.
Right.
I think we generally could. It would make the most sense. Obviously, that's pretty far away. That's a thing too. It's just so macro because we're in 2024. I mean, 5 years
Right.
from now, like the world could be pretty different in 5 years. Like 5 years is a while. Like that's, if you're 25, that's 1/5 of your life. 5 years.
Yeah.
It depends. Even if you're like 50 years old, I mean, 5 years is still a significant amount. 10%. I mean,
Yeah, that's a long
yeah, it's
time.
I mean, it's interesting too because like a lot of people are in it just for like the 40 year. These people you work 40 years, you put all that money in retirement accounts, then you're able to touch it in 40 years. Like man, that's a long freaking time. 40 years,
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
like 40
Now when
years.
there's so many other avenues to make money, I'm kind of dark in
Yeah,
there.
I mean 40.
Uh,
I'm just thinking 40 years. What year was 40 years from now? 19. What was
from
40?
now,
1984.
oh, from years ago. Um, Geez, damn,
1984.
I'm almost yeah. So pretty much, yeah, 84.
I mean, 84 is you were driving. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, no, it was only landlines, no cell phones. Nobody really. The internet was kind of just very, very rudimentary. I don't think the average person was not using the internet back then, right? It wasn't.
Oh, absolutely not. The internet, the computers started coming like in the mid to late 90s is when it started to get popular.
Okay, yeah,
Dial-up connection, but then like once you started getting like it when Facebook started kicking off and YouTube and the internet got a lot more popular because there was a lot more utility out of it by the early 2000s.
yeah,
That's when it really kicked off, in my opinion. Yeah.
yeah. 80s was just like they used it for the rocket ships and stuff, but it was more. It was so expensive, the average person didn't have it, and it was too slow. Yeah. Somebody
Right.
said in the chat, mid to late 90s, yeah, the modems, yeah.
Yeah.
80s was not. I think did they like yeah, I think 80s was all like if you were doing any type of business, you were using the phone and using pen and paper, I think, right?
Yeah, like record keeping.
Yeah, everything was there maybe
Yeah,
typewriter? That's
there was no electronic records. I mean, there was maybe with corporations who could afford that kind of uh stuff at that time in the 80s, but yeah.
yeah, it wasn't, yeah. I mean, it was the biggest technological advances is when we went to the moon. That was late 60s, and that was kind of forcified by World War II is when they kind of started to invent that. That was kind of it wasn't really that was more like forced. Like we were kind of forced. Everybody in the world was a force to really put their minds together and create that stuff. We were kind of ahead of our time, and then in peacetime it doesn't go as much, but I
Right.
mean, when you were what was when you were in high school? What was obviously when you were in high school? I don't think what year did you graduate from high school?
2004.
Okay, so you were at the flip phones. Probably people had flip phones or the Razor back then,
Oh
right?
yeah, when I had flip phones and if you wanted to dial like a message at the time, you would have to hit was the number two if I wanted to put like I don't know, chow. You'd have to hit number two, 1, 2, 3, because that's ABC.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Texting you're
Yeah.
talking about, right? Yes, yeah.
Yeah, just texting, but you would have to hit that number. Like, yeah, that's when texting
People
was like
they
that, man.
they did text back then, but it was only teenagers who did it because they thought it was cool. Like the average person was just making phone calls. They weren't texting.
Yeah, and then you had minutes too at that time. Like, you didn't want to use your minutes because you would have to pay for minutes. You would pay for like I don't even remember
You had to pay
200
for
minutes.
texting too, I think, right?
I think they would give you like up to 100 message free or something like that. And then 200 minutes, that was a plan. And then if you exceeded that, you would have to pay like 10 cents a text or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like where you could in the internet you couldn't hook up to Wi-Fi. You had to use like the LTE data, and it was like expensive and it was very slow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And going on the internet on those phones at that time, they're so limited. You can only do so much.
Yeah, it was kind of useless. Like it was just it was so limited that you were better off just to go on a desktop. Like it wasn't It would be like in an emergency situation if you really had to look something up, I guess. But it was such a pain in the ass. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I think they had those phones. Didn't they have like those phones in the cars in the 90s or 80s where you could it was like speakerphone where it would call the same number that if you're driving your car and you could answer it from your car and like you had the phone in the car. And my dad had that in like
Mm.
he had a car from the late 90s that had that. It was a Chrysler.
Yeah.
It was interesting because
Uh-huh.
it was like an actual, it looked like a landline phone he had in his damn car.
A landline
Yeah,
phone.
like it looked like,
I never had one of those, but
yeah, he would like,
I know
he
what
had
you're
it on
talking.
speaker. It was funny. Like he would fucking be, like he'd be basically talking on a landline phone while he was driving.
Damn.
I remember when I was a little kid. Yeah, it had speaker too. It wasn't bad. For its time, like that was like
Yeah.
impressive technology.
Yeah, that was definitely, yeah.
Because it would ring. He had a cell phone too. I don't know what the hell kind of cell phone he had. Something. It
What
was
year
like a.
was this?
Oh man, probably like 2001.
Okay.
But that technology,
Well,
he bought the car probably in like 99 or something.
yeah.
It was like I was very young when he had, and when they would call his cell phone, it would ring in the car too. That phone and the car would ring at the same time. Um, Both of them would ring, I
Someone in the
think. Yeah. I remember
someone in the
being
chat said, "You
impressed
guys
with
are
it.
talking about."
Go ahead.
I was just reading. Someone in the chat said, "You guys are talking about call forwarding."
I think that's what it was, I guess, but whatever. Yeah, for its time that was impressive. I don't think that's probably when that first came out or whatever.
That's
Or
funny.
there's the pager. The pager was kind of useless though. Oh, they had the pager because they didn't have voicemail back then, I don't think, right?
We didn't know that like cell phones were like cell phones were like you couldn't buy cell phone. I don't know what year this really started, but pagers were popular. That's what everyone had because if you had a cell phone at the time, it was kind of like those old ones where you'd have to carry in a little briefcase.
It was
Man,
big, yeah, yeah.
I was aging myself a little bit, but yeah, you'd carry around in a briefcase and they look like a brick you're holding in your hand. But yeah, 99% of the people have pagers and now 99% of the people have cell phones. But uh, yeah, the pagers were like the thing at one time. It was like the only thing mainly for a lot of people. But that changed when I don't know does anyone in the chat know what year that changed?
When people stopped using pagers.
When they stopped using pagers and cell phones became kind of more normalized
Early
and they got
2000s, early 2000s is when cell phones with voice. Once they invented voicemail, then you didn't need a pager, obviously.
early 2000s. So it wasn't that long
Maybe
before.
late 90s if you were rich and you were willing to spend a couple grand on a cell phone, probably.
Yeah.
But early 2000s, and then okay, somebody said pagers went out in the mid 90s. I guess that's when. But the mid 90s cell phones were gigantic, I thought. Um,
Oh, they were for sure. Yeah, like they were
yeah.
bricks,
Well,
literally.
back then, did everybody have one of those giant cell phones, or did a lot of people just use landline?
No, they had those. It started off with a little bit of people only had those giant cell phones, and as my experience, then I realized like more and more people started having those brick cell phones, and then they started being able to change the cell phone to a more of a pocket size, and that's when it became more available, and they made it cheap enough for like more people to buy it. So, and that happened like someone put 95, 98, maybe yeah, maybe like the late 90s.
Yeah, the other thing too, like I think the big invention was obviously when you had GPS on the iPhone because or GPS in general that was affordable for everyone in the car was a big invention because prior to
Yeah.
that you would get lost.
Yeah. People were still using maps. right?
They would use maps. I mean, it would, most people were helpful with you if you stopped at a gas station. They would like show you a map, tell you like where to go. Um,
Right.
but it was easy to definitely like people would get lost. Like people would get like lost and fucked in the middle of nowhere, not knowing where the fuck they were.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's crazy.
yeah, it was that was a big because the iPhone 4 I think was the first one that had the GPS. They had GPS before that, the ones you would spend a few $100s on and put in your car. That was in the early 2000s, I believe.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
those weren't as
Like
good
it
though.
was a separate navigator, right? Like a
Yeah,
separate device.
those would screw up. So I remember those. My parents had those. They weren't that great. Like they would screw up sometimes.
Yeah.
But the iPhone 4, once you had Google Maps on there, that was like good enough where it would be very unlikely it would screw up. Like you could kind of get anywhere you wanted to. And that also kind of made travel a lot easier too. Like, you know what I mean? Like imagine going to Thailand before the iPhone. You know what I mean? Like it would be
Oh yeah.
it would be hard to
You
find shit.
you
And
have to
probably
do it
because
very primitive ways. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm just picturing like without the iPhone, you'd be asking people for directions. Like 90% of these people would probably just try to scam you and shit.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy.
Smaller flip phones came in 1995. Motorola LED.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people in the chat are like a little older, huh? So they kind of know about this. We used to use paper maps. I remember using paper maps. I have a map inside my parents' car in between, like, the black hole between your seat and like the center console, the thing that where everything gets lost.
Yeah.
Always keep a big old map right there. And I remember using that as a kid. Well, me not using, but seeing my parents use it as a kid. But that was like when I was a kid, like probably the late 80s, early 90s.
I my parents used yeah, even in the early 2000s like they would use MapQuest and print it out. But I remember it was funny
Oh
because my
yeah, that's right. You could print out map.
y-
We did that. That started happening in the late 90s, huh?
yeah, late 90s early 2000s. I remember my dad would have the map and he would take a highlighter and just highlight the entire damn map. You'd be
Yeah.
highlighting where he was going to go, but then he would end up highlighting the entire freaking thing. I don't know. He would always do that. He would be trying to study something. He'd take a highlighter and then, okay, this is important. This is important. Oh, this is also just end up highlighting the entire thing.
He should have just printed it on a light yellow
Yeah,
paper.
yeah, that's what people would say. People would look at it and they're like 98% of this is highlighted. What the hell are you doing?
That's funny.
And he would be
That's
like,
funny.
no, no, it's like the beginning of it. Like, it's just like,
That's funny. That reminds me of me when I used to like study. I used to always highlight my study work, and like, but I would use different colors
yeah,
for like different. I don't know how I organized it or in my brain at the time, but different colors meant different things. So that was the way I was able to separate my notes because otherwise, a lot of my papers looked highlighted too. I remember.
yeah. The other thing that's wild too with the AI now is you could even, I don't know if you know this, but on, I don't know if it works. I don't think it works on ChatGPT, but on the new Google Gemini AI thing, you could put in a link to a YouTube video and you could say summarize this YouTube video and it'll give you a paragraph summary of what the YouTube video says.
Mm,
It's pretty good too, pretty accurate.
yeah,
Like it saves you time. Like if it's, some stupid, 20-minute video where the person never gets to the point, you just put that in and it'll summarize it for you.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's getting to that point with the AI. It's a little bit scary like what it can do, but I think that like what'll happen is it'll just get regulated like it'll get regulated up to its eyeballs and then they'll just it'll just be stagnant for a while.
Regulated? What do you mean? Like, are you talking about AI, like in general? Like, you scared of it as far as like it could get out of hand?
Um, I think it can. Yeah, I think it kind of can. Um, I mean, you're already seeing like that robot shit, like where it's like one of them attacked a person. I mean, it already is
Oh,
getting a
oh, is
little.
that true?
What's
Yeah, I
that?
don't know. I did hear. I was saying, is that true? Because I did hear about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
Read it somewhere.
It already, in that sense, it already is. I think it's gonna. That's where, like, I don't think crypto is gonna get that regulated. At least not too much more than it already is. But the real thing that's probably gonna get like massive freaking regulation, I think, is gonna be the AI, and I think it's gonna get stifled a lot. Where it's just they're not gonna let people make too many more advances with it. And I think the governments, like the very wealthy people in the government, will have access to the major capabilities of it. Um,
They'll monopolize it for sure, even in a secret way, kind of like big pharma monopolizes. Well, now I'm
bro,
talking.
you just read my mind. That's exactly what I was about to say. Healthcare is extremely regulated, and it really healthcare has not made too much advancements in the last 20 years.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, American life expectancy is at the same level it was in 1994, I think.
Say that again.
American life expectancy is at the same level it was in 1994. I could be mistaken, but that's what I read.
So we plateaued, huh?
We've gone down. American life expectancy has gone down, and partially it was because of COVID, but it should have, by this point, it should have gone back up, and it hasn't.
Right.
I mean,
You would think
Thailand,
with
good.
all the advancement, but that's again where you get with that conspiracy with the big pharma.
I think it's a combination of overregulation and conspiracy of big pharma. Also, just American lifestyle is very is sedimentary. What am I saying? American lifestyle is all negative, and then the food is really bad in America too. So it's a combination of things.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Um, Obesity is obviously the biggest factor. But it's wild too because you look at like Thailand has a higher life expectancy than America by like it's a significant amount. It's like at least 2 years, I think. I mean, it's at least a year, I
Yeah.
believe. It's significant, and I mean that's like I mean you're looking at a country that's like where the average income is like $600 a month. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's interesting. But yeah, that's my guess
Yeah.
what'll happen with AI.
Yeah, we could go in a deep rabbit hole with all this stuff because this all like branches out to a lot of different,
Yeah, yeah,
things in within the government. Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta get as wealthy as you can, you know, in the most honest way as you can, and
yeah.
just try to secure your life and your family's life, and try to secure the ones you love. That's what I believe. And then if you're able to make change, if you're able to make change, even in small ways, like in a way, like you're doing it because you're doing it in helping people and giving your knowledge
Yeah.
out to people. So that's your way. Everyone has a part in how to change the world for the better, some for the worse, but try to be on the better side. That's just little wise words, I guess.
I couldn't have said that better myself, man. That's a great statement what you said. I mean, you just gotta just keep to do, kind of. It's not cliche. Do the best you can. Just keep trying. Don't give up. Try to be as
Yeah,
ethical as you possibly can. I mean,
yeah,
if you look deep enough, pretty much everybody has some negative attributes. Like nobody's perfect. Um, but yeah, just try to do what you can. I mean, it's never going to be completely perfect, and I think if anything, everything was completely perfect, there's not really any motivation, nothing to kind of strive for.
yeah. True.
So yeah.
So
Anyway, man.
it's good
Yeah.
to have something to work better towards for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off right now. I've been on about an hour and 45 minutes. To everybody
Yeah, for
still,
sure, man.
yeah,
Had a great talk. That was awesome. It was a little bit of crypto, a little bit about life. That was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. But it looks like Bitcoin is coming up a little bit. Just to look at the chart real quick, we are coming up a little bit. My long is doing well on
Oh yeah,
Bitcoin.
close it out with whatever you think, and then we'll cut it.
Yeah, so we'll probably go up here. And guys, before we leave, if you guys want to check out the Discord, this is CBZ Crypto Bull Zone. He's in one of them been posting a lot of good stuff in the Discord. It's me, him, and K-Mac right now in the Discord if you guys are interested. First link down below. If you guys want a free month, if you sign up to any of the exchange links down below, my link, and then open a support ticket with your UID, we'll give you 1 free month in the Discord. Really great community if you guys want to learn how to trade. You could ask us questions and stuff like that. We do kind of chats with you guys as well. I've been on vacation, so haven't done one of those, but I'll probably do one within the week. So yeah.
I'll hop on. Let me know when you do.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, man. I'm gonna get off. I'll see you. Thanks so much.
All right. See you guys.